They say, if you want the Rek'Sai, stick with it. Kingen has been practicing a lot of KL and solo queue for a while now.
Yeah.
He'll get a chance to play it in game number 2. Second KL of the LCK.
Really excited to get the chance to cast. Was watching it yesterday as she does a lot of damage once she hits that level 16 and sometimes even level 15. So we'll have to wait and see if that does find success in this game here, as Talia is going to be picked up. I would have to imagine that will be hopping into the mid lane, as we were talking about this before, that Talia seems to be a bit stronger in the mid lane nowadays and is slowly coming back.
Pretty bold to choose it into a ranged opponent in the top lane, and also consider that sort of fights the Hanwha Life are looking for. They already had Galio Jarvan, so you knew they were rumble pitting, right? They're very much about hard engaged team fights. Kayle, yes, she can go invulnerable and make someone else invulnerable, but she's an auto attack champion, and there's just a chance that you're womboed to death here when it comes to the sort of fights that Hanwha Life can cause. Now, skirmishing 2v2, 3v3, KT can find leads, but in a true 5v5...
See if they can make it work in Kale's second time coming out here after her rework. Excited to see if it does work out, as game number 2 is going to start right now.
So that the next time a Drake comes around, you don't just give a mountain for Rift Herald trade you feel less good about if you're Hanwha Life. We're past 9 minutes. We're going to name the Red Bramble Pit Control Ward that you were talking about, LCK Summer 2018.
Okay.
It's a happy name for KT Rolster.
Yeah. Finally, something goes right.
Yep.
In one of these games, and I do like that reference, so does make sense. That other one is there, but they know it's there, so probably not going to live, as Arrow is going to come down, but TP available. Can they get the kill? Yes, they will, but here's Sowan. Slicing Maelstrom, but he's just going for the Ash. This is going to leave Snowflower to live. Not sure about that one. Feel like he could have got both, but either way, will be the 1-for-1. But again, that means that Kayle is going to get 2 plates in the top.
And that's always the thing when you're laning against a Nasus, or nowadays against a Kayle, is if I do something and don't get the maximum, what's left in the lane and what's happening? It's Kayle picking up more gold. So I agree. Actually using your teleport advantage to get an answering kill there is honestly not a great look for Sowan in particular. And he's going to clear out some vision, but that's one of their globals used for, at best, a trade that's not 50-50.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they gain much from that, but now Snowflower making his way up to the top side alongside P, who got here earlier, in fact, trying to secure this Rift Herald, and Ash is going to tell them about this. As there's the combo from Talia, the flash does come in, trying to burst the top Kents, and they will! See you later, support. Down goes Snowflower. This is going to make this a 5-on-3 when Lucian gets there. As Ash is not in position. Score going to get in the backside. Is going to use that ult with the tail. Is surviving for a long time, but all of this damage and the kills going to go the way of Hanwha alongside of Shelly.
Communication for KT is once again the issues we saw in game number 1. So it is a different build path. Again, we've been skeptical about even if 5v5 Kayle will be able to scale into that 5v5 spot. Here are the globals we talked about.
No flash for Tom Kent, but double TP does come in. Score gonna get taunted though and immediately dies. And the one-man knockup on a king in here. Mujin trying to do his best, but good ultimate from the Kayle. But here's Sowan into the backline. A huge slicing Maelstrom. It's gonna shut them all down. The ace is gonna go the way on the back of the triple kill from Sowan.
And this is why we had our skepticism of how Kayle fit into the comp. AoE is what she can't deal with, and she had to self-ult and wasn't doing damage during the fight. So yes, stayed alive with the ultimate, but unfortunately, it just around it is Sowan scurrying in so late as the cannon. Little Chipmunk is the last person to show up, and the little Chipmunk gets it all done. 404, KT not found. This cannon is fed.
He's super fed, right? But again, it was KT. They were kind of saying like, yeah, come at us. We have
blank. This was a front door cannon being invited in, given a cup of cocoa and 4 kills.
As he didn't even have the most damage in the fight. That actually goes the way of Talia.
So I'm going to try and kill you. So good to see he's still doing the 1% things. This is not a great lane assignment attempt.
Temp though, there's the ultimate comes down, and imagine if the Kale could do damage in that ultimate now. That would definitely change things up as, not sure what that was, Temp.
Temp played that so badly.
That was a Valdez ultimate right there, as Kingen is getting so much value here. Now, gonna bait in Mujin off the back of the TP, as 2 kills will actually go the way of KT off of that weird and wonky play. We want to rush this down and not have to deal with that late game.
Now, Hawkshot is going to negate any attempt at 2-man Baron. That's the reality now. How does this play go? They're cutting them off. Can they DP? They're trying to burst it down.
Hey, really trying to burst it down. It's up to Key to try to get that stun on down, and he will be able to get it. Mujin will be able to pick up the smite in the backside, and down will go Lysandra, who is all alone there. Mujin gonna go for the follow-up ultimate. Not sure if that's gonna work out as Snowflower gets low, but Gango and Kingen, full health. Gotta really respect them. Hanwha Life with the Baron will eventually back away.
I think Hanwha Life in general played the Baron well. Shout out to Key, who did everything he needed to do. He guaranteed that there was no way in for score. First, I endeavor to think this will be a low roll on those team fights, but I'm prepared to be proven wrong.
It'll be interesting to see who the Devour gets used on. You can Devour Kale and try to Kale ult Ash, actually. That's one way to do it. Nice seismic shove is really going to chunk down the top bench here, so immediately Snowflower is going to have to back away. Looks like we're going to have our first inhibitor of the game now taken into time.
Is happy to threaten, have different people walk up and pull back, and then have the minions with Baron buff do most of the work. It's not a fallback Baron, but a fallback Infernal is only second to Baron and Elder for a 27-minute pickup. Hanwha Life have a couple of ranged auto attackers who are eventually able to poke it out. They know they can fall back.
Absolutely no way for them to get on in, so Hanwha will have their response Infernal. This is going to be quite nice, especially for a near-perfect team fight, as you're mentioning, for her to really get too much down. And I think that's going to be on the backs of Hanwha Life too, as I'm saying that. Actually, we're just going all in, trying to kill the top Kents, and that's going to be a really important piece, actually. That Devour that we talked about before that could save the Kale in some of these fights is now taken away.
Never saw a lot of teamfight KO from Damwon Gaming until they had a huge gold lead, and we saw that even with that, it took them a long time to close the game, Valdez. Some of that was their own mistakes, but I think KO's reliability in the teamfight is overrated. Let's see if she can do anything. It's 4v5.
Oh, he gets the knock-up, and see you later! That's the Talia damage! That's what I'm talking about. Gets it down, and Mujin gets the stopwatch right on the backside as well. It's going to be up to Gango now, as down will go the Galio, but Songyun still being alive here means that you're not really going to be able to fight that 1-2v3. Really fantastic engage there from Mujin, sets up the play.
We went from a horror film, level 16, KO, what will it mean, till a farce instantly as the jump.
Definitely fun stuff for Tempt. Was able to pick that one up. We're taking a look at some wards here for the Kennen. Got a good one on the left side already, a couple of them actually.
How can you do anything here, right? It's so hard unless Hanwha Life make a mistake.
Okay, Kido's gonna take a lot of damage, gets zoned away by his own wall as Kennen, he's going into the base, guys. We gotta take a look at that Kennen right now.
How much work can he get done? KT understand it.
Coming in from Lucid too. And well, this is going to be the turrets going down, and we got 2 auto attackers.
They got it.
Be chunking it down. It's too late for the side of KT. GG as they get baited into the Baron fight and the TP from So On.